It's a story time! I don't know why, but you guys seem to like that weird tone of voice and the hand movement and whatever, so I guess I'll keep that. So today I wanted to tell you guys a little story of when I was a flight attendant. A quite funny story. Well, not funny it's funny now, but back then it was pretty terrifying, pretty yeah. For some reason in training I went really well in the medical part, in the emergencies and saving people's part thing, and I guess I really like medical stuff. I don't know. So one of these flights, I don't remember where it was going to or if it was coming back, I don't remember, okay? I do remember that the flight was going fine and everything, and we had done the first service, and so it was a long flight. I do remember this. And we were in the middle of letting the passengers sleep, so it was dark in the cabin, and we walk around every now and again to check if everything is alright, if the bathrooms need a clean or anything like extra toilet paper, anything like that, if anyone needs help for any reason. So I was doing my round, doing my checks on my cabin, and I passed the bathrooms, and one of the bathrooms was busy, but that's normal, you know. Just went past. Like about 2 minutes later, a woman approaches me and she says,
"My husband has been in the bathroom for a while now and I'm getting worried."
And I looked at her and I said, well, do you know what bathroom he is in? And then she said,
that one. So
we walked up to that bathroom, and she knocked on the door and she asked if he was there. There was no reply. And then I asked her what his name was, and I said, why are you worried? And then she said, well,
he has a heart condition and he doesn't fly very well, and he wasn't feeling good, and he said he was going to the bathroom, and it's been about half an hour that he hasn't come back.
So I said to her, look, don't worry, let's knock on the door and check if he's alright. So I knock on the door and I call his name. He doesn't answer. I call again, it's locked. I knock again, no answer. We wait a little bit. I knocked for the third time and there was no answer. That's when I decided, right, I think I need to take action now. So I knock on the door saying the guy's name, and I say, look, I'm gonna unlock the door, I'm gonna open it, so if you can hear me, if you can do anything, let me know so I won't open and expose you or anything like that. I'm coming in. So I unlock the door, and as I open it, the guy is sitting on the toilet, but he's not doing anything. So like the toilet seat was closed, and he didn't have his pants pulled down or anything. He was fully dressed, and he was sitting on it, and he was leaning sideways, almost as if he was sleeping there. And then I looked and I was like, sir, are you alright? And I realized he had his eyes closed, and as I looked, he seemed not to be, he wasn't responsive. He was leaning against one of the walls of the bathroom, sitting on there. That's when I was like,
oh my god, this guy needs my help.
So the woman, right away as she sees him like that, she starts screaming bloody murder. And I was like, calm down, shh, shh. And I was trying to like get to this guy, which is a big ass guy, okay? Really tall, really big guy. And she's screaming her lungs out and waking up all the passengers. And I said to her, calm down, I'm gonna help him. So luckily this bathroom was right in front of one of the doors of the airplane. And if you haven't noticed, in front of the doors of the airplane there are the phones that the flight attendants communicate through. So I pick up that phone and I call all stations, all the doors, and I say,
I have a man here with like health care. Come to this door.
And I signal which door it is. So I said the code of where I was with the guy, and I said I need help. And I hang up. I turn back to the guy, and the woman is getting like, she's going pale, and I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna pass out, and this guy is passed out, and I can't deal with two people at the same time. So I asked her to go back to her seat, that I was gonna take care of him. She didn't, but she stepped away a little bit. She gave me like 2 steps of breathing air. People started gathering around, and I asked people to please step away, that the guy needed to breathe. So with my almost no strength, I pulled this big guy from the bathroom, and I laid him on the side of the door of the bathroom, but on the inside, in the cabin part, so not inside the bathroom. I laid him on the ground, and I tried to check his vitals. As I'm checking his vitals, I realized this guy is not breathing. This guy doesn't have a heartbeat. I'm gonna have to do, for the first time in my life, a CPR. So I did all the procedures that we were taught, and while I was in the middle of the beginning, I had just started doing the pumps and all of that, and the woman was getting hysterical all at the same time. One of the flight attendants, one of the chief flight attendants arrives and asks me to explain what's going on. So while I'm trying to count compressions and doing them on this big ass guy that I almost had to mount on him, I'm trying to explain to the chief flight attendant what had happened. So he runs to get the pedals. We have pedals in the airplane. They're not like proper medical pedals, but they are good enough to shock you back into, and we know how to use it. But we as normal flight attendants are not allowed to use it without the chief. The chief has to be there. So he goes get it. He comes back with oxygen as well and all of this, and a few other flight attendants, which is great because this guy is massive and I need help. And while I'm trying to continue attending to this guy while they set up the machine and everything, the chief flight attendant just freaks out. He goes like, oh my god, this guy is dying. No, he says, oh my god, this guy's dead. And I'm like, what the fuck? The woman is right there. The wife is right there. You don't say this. I'm trying to calm her down and attend to this guy, and you say this? It's like, dude, what the hell? It was a guy, okay? This was a guy chief flight attendant, and he had no balls, okay? So he froze, and he didn't know what to do about the medical kit. He didn't know anything. So I had to instruct another flight attendant that was there and wasn't in a complete shock of what to do to turn on the pads and everything so we could attend to this guy. And I kept all of this with me doing compressions and breathing and all of that to this guy, and having a hysterical woman screaming next to me, okay? Eventually, as soon as we were able to put the pedals on him and we were about to shock him the first time, he came back. Just as we were about to shock him, he finally wakes up. He finally starts responding. So we didn't shock him. As he started responding, the woman became even more hysterical, screaming,
oh my god, he's alive, he's alive.
And my chief was still frozen there, as if he wasn't there. It was amazing. I was lucky enough that the one flight attendant that did help me, that even though she was freaked out with the situation, she still helped me out. As long as I was able to tell her what to do, she would respond to me. Unlike my chief, who was completely gone. So yes, I saved a man's life. The plane was diverted, so we landed pretty close after that, which then the guy and the woman were taken out of the plane for a proper hospital to check if everything was alright, and we took off again and finished our journey. Now, I am amazed that during this incident I managed to keep my cool, I managed to think straight and know what to do and do it and go like a crazy person. But as soon as the guy was all right, as soon as everything was done and that we took all the medical equipment and everything away, that I had a minute to breathe, that's when it kind of hit me of all the stress, and my legs were so shaky. I could not stand up after that. I was just like, this is when my chief actually woke up and he managed to tell the story to the other people. So when we landed and we had to give them to the paramedics, he was the one that instructed the paramedics of what has happened, because I was in shock at that point. I was the one that was sitting down with my shaky legs, could not stand up, and couldn't speak properly anymore, couldn't think straight anymore, and all of that. So I'm proud that I managed to keep my cool and do everything while it was happening. But afterwards, I was just like, gone. So yeah, I guess everyone reacts in a different way when it comes to a situation like this. Yeah, that's my story time for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you Friday with funny videos, and next week with more story time and all of that. So give it a thumbs up if you like the story. If you have gone through anything like this, leave me a comment down below, let me know about it. And obviously, if you aren't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Kisses!